Trump recently floated a proposal to eliminate individual income taxes and to replace the revenue raised from those tax payments with increased tariffs on imported goods. I wanted to address that proposal. Even after Trump increased tariffs during his 4-year term, the total tariff revenue based on 2021 data was only $80 billion compared to the $2.2 trillion raised in revenue from individual income tax payments that year. So eliminating individual income taxes, as Trump has proposed, will create a really, really big hole to fill with tariff revenue. The Tax Foundation, which is a nonprofit that is friendly to the Republican Party, noted in an article published on June 18, 2024, that recent studies have found that almost 100% of the tariff increases in 2018 and 2019 under Trump were passed through to U.S. consumers, almost 100%. I'm citing an article from the Tax Foundation in the More section below. Even with those total revenue numbers that included individual income tax and corporate tax and tariffs and other revenue sources, the federal budget deficit was over $1 trillion in the fiscal years ending in September 2021 and September 2022. Most of the budget consists of items that cannot be cut politically, and that includes defense, Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, and interest on the national debt. About 40%, sometimes as close to 50% of U.S. taxpayers pay no federal income tax. The households who pay no federal income tax would be far worse off under Trump's proposal than under the current system. The tariff hikes would increase the prices paid for imported goods and provide an umbrella for price increases by domestic companies. The consequence would be a huge tax-like increase in effect on lower and middle income households that do not currently pay any federal income tax. The estimated negative impact on middle and upper income households who pay federal income taxes, assuming no change in the value of imports, would be about $5,100 per year. Trump's proposal would be a boon to the rich, which is the reason for it, in my opinion. The top 1% would receive an average cut by $1.3 million per year. And hiking tariffs to replace individual income taxes would probably result in lower tariff revenues than the existing tariffs, as imported goods would have to become too expensive, resulting in lower rather than greater revenue from tariffs, leaving the U.S. government with substantially less revenue than it receives now, causing inflation to spike as a result of the price umbrella and the higher price for imported goods. It would also substantially increase the risk of a U.S. government debt default, would cause a plunging U.S. dollar as debt financing needs increase dramatically, and the full faith and credit of the United States government to pay its debt obligations would be downgraded. And most likely, in my opinion, there would be a depression that cannot be alleviated by government spending, and all of those would result from implementation of Trump's proposal. And of course, other nations would not sit idly by while the U.S. raised its tariffs to 80% of the value of imported goods or more or higher. They would retaliate against U.S. exporters, basically rendering international trade practically non-existent, producing a far worse result than what happened as a result of the Smoot-Hawley tariffs of 1930. Those were two Republicans. Smoot was a Republican senator and Hawley a Republican congressman. And the passage of that Tariff Act substantially exacerbated the Great Depression and lengthened its duration. The Republicans had 270 seats in the House in 1928 and still had control of the House with 218 seats, just barely, after the 1930 election. The Depression was already starting by then. In the 1932 election, the Republicans were reduced to 117 House seats. The Republicans had 56 Senate seats in 2028 and 36 after the 1932 election.